Hi, this is Jen again. Today we're going to touch on the topic, how will the budget 2023 affect the property market in Singapore? This budget 2023 is pretty fresh. It was out on the 14th of February where everybody was going to celebrate their Valentine. Mr. Lawrence Wong, our Minister of Finance, has announced this budget 2023. It actually has some policy that affect the property market here. So first we can take a look. The one that announced is that there will be more support for the first-timer BTO applicants. This is the HDB, and they were going to have extra additional support. Plus, they will be given extra ballot chance. It's good news for those who are applying for the first time for the BTO. Another good news for those who are looking at HDB resale, for the first timer, the families will have additional of 30k CPF grants. Originally, your maximum family grant was 50k. Today, you're going to have 30k extra to total up about 80k grants into your CPF. And for the singles, for those who are 35 and above, you are buying for the first time and going into the HDB resale, you have additional of 15k. Previously, you have 25k. Now, today, you have about 40k into your CPF. There is some also policy that affect the private residential market. There will be an increase in buyer stamp duty for properties above from 1.5 million onwards. Used to be anything that's 1 million or below, stamp duty is 3%. Anything above 1 million is calculated based on 4%. But the policy has increased from 1.5 and above to up to 3 million, stamp duty will increase to 5%. And then from 3 millions and higher, it will go up to 6%. The figure actually sounds pretty big, but later we'll go deep inside to see how much is actually the increase. Alright, the next stamp duty increase will be for the commercial property. For a very long time, commercial property has been enjoying only 3% buyer stamp duty, but it will change from the budget 2023 onwards. The properties that below 1 million will enjoy still 3%, but anything above 1 million to 1.5 million, you will base on 4%. 1.5 millions and above, you will base on buyer stamp duty of about 5%. The only thing difference between commercial and residential is the commercial property, the stamp duty is hedged on 5% the max. How does this increase in this buyer stamp duty rates affect in how much actually has it increased? So we did a table. So generally, it is any properties that is below 1 million, there's no changes. Buyer stamp duty stick the same. From 1 million to 1.5 million, it's the same also. There is no changes because you still based on 4%. But generally, from 1.5% and upwards, you will base it on 5%. That in the way, it has some changes. If it's a 1.5 million, stamp duty is still the same, but you are buying a property of up to 3 millions, you will have an additional $15,000 of buying stamp duty. For the next level up, for property that's 3 million and above, the increase in the stamp duty is quite massive, from 15,000 all the way up. And we take an example, if you're buying a 6 million property, the difference of the buyer stamp duty between now and then is 75,000. You can see from this table, it actually affects those buyers who are purchasing a bigger and more higher end of properties. How would it affect the general property market in Singapore? So I get a lot from my clients was, will the market property in Singapore crash? This is really a dream for buyers who have not entered into the property market yet. Crashing of the property price in Singapore. So let's revise again. What causes the Singapore property prices to increase, especially during the last few years? I will still come down to three main factors: the economy, the hot topics of inflation, and of course the interest rate. When we look at the economy, a lot of people are predicting that 2022, 2023 actually we are entering probably in the recessions. This could be true for the other advanced economy outside of Singapore. But Singapore's general economy is telling you a different story. So let's look at the growth in 2022. The Singapore government actually predict a general average increase in 3.5% in GDP growth. But yet at the end of 2022, we actually able to attain a 3.8% GDP growth for the whole year of 2022. So generally, this is a slight bit above what the Singapore government has predicted. And then, of course, the government also forecasts that the growth in 2023 will be 0.5% all the way to 2.5%. It goes against to a lot of others economy like the US, the western side of the like the Europe. They are all going into a slowdown or maybe even a recessions. But Singapore government is still maintaining that the recessions is not on its base case. So we are still looking at growth, but maybe a slower growth. The external demand outlook for 2023 is improved slightly, especially with the opening of the China market. When the China already eased their COVID-19 measures and they open up very quickly and suddenly. So this actually could be affecting Singapore economy. We shall see. Next, the two very hot topics about inflation and interest rate. Regarding the inflation, we are still very high. It's about 5%. We are still maintaining the inflation will be still high also in 2024, possible around 4.4%. It is still high because we used to enjoy a 2% or up to 3% inflation rate for many years. We are still looking at high inflation rate. And on the interest rate, Federal Reserve actually has recently increased 0.25% in the interest rate. During the announcement of this increase, the head of Federal Reserve actually just says that they are trying to still fighting against the inflation, but the inflation is really some sort of under control. Expecting maybe another round of increase again within 2023, but it will not be very high, as they already more or less be able to control the inflation so far. But generally, the financial sectors in the market is expecting the interest rate to soften down on the later part of 2023. We are looking better kind of interest market from middle of 2023 all the way. Let's look at the main factors that are affecting the Singapore property prices to rise so quickly. One of the factors, of course, is scarcity of land in Singapore because we are such a small island. We have limited land supply. And that, of course, causing the land cost to rise. Over the last few years, we have seen the land, especially in the government land sales, the bidding price has gone up. Okay, generally before developers can actually build a development, they have to bid for a land, and usually they will go into the government land sale, which happens twice a year. How much can they sell also highly depend on how much they bid for the land. One of the other factors, not only the land cost has gone up recently, the construction cost and the professional fees for building up developments has also increased a lot by actually more than 50% of the original cost. So I'll just give you examples. We used to use $350 per square foot or up to $450 per square foot to construct, to add on to the bidding cost of the land to actually get the break-even price for the developer. But today, the construction cost has gone up to $600 per square foot. So imagine this big increase. How can the developer sell cheap? When they bid for the land is so high and the inflation has caused the construction and professional fee to also increase. Putting them together is impossible to actually sell it lower. So this is one of other factors, and we're going to see a lot of hard facts. Like I'm going to show you this one, like the OCR land price. In 2018, 2019, the bidding price for land was about 869 per square foot per prop ratio. Last year, it went up to 1,091 per square foot per prop ratio. That is for OCR. RCR, you can see that in 2018, 2019, the original bidding price from then was about 996 per square foot per prop ratio. In 2022, it has gone up to 1,287 per square foot per prop ratio. CCR, we don't have much of GLS, government land sales, but we do have a lot of collective sales. So we're going to gather this data together. 2017, land cost will cost about 1,565 per square foot per prop ratio. Last year, it's gone up to about 2,002 per square foot per prop ratio. Over the last 5 years, the price increase has gone up so much. Plus the inflation's interest rate, you can imagine the prices for 2023 is definitely going to hit a new benchmark price. My conclusions is that for HDB resales, we will see an increase in demand from the first-timer purchaser, because with the additional 30K, it probably makes sense to them to actually go into HDB resale rather than waiting for a BTO, because a BTO, the queue is very long, and plus that you need to wait for the constructions to finish. it will probably take you 4 years, and sometimes maybe even longer. So if those first-timers would like to have immediate occupations, they will jump back into the resales HDB again. The dilemma is for those HDB buyers who are no more a first-timer. So they do not have this additional 30K CPF grant. So when they go into the market, the seller will be expecting, oh, since there's an increase in 30K, I'm sure you have the money, and they will be, probably will be more firm on their selling price, and some may even increase their asking price. So this could cause these buyers some, difficulty. Generally they either have to downgrade, or on the other hand, maybe as an agent myself, I probably will tell the seller, say, okay, now buyer has an extra 30K, they actually can opt for a better unit or better location. So if you are firm on your price, you probably will not be able to sell out immediately or in a very short time. So these are something that is for you to think. So in a nutshell, we just feel that, with this, it actually is based on what is the angle and how you look at it. What do you think? Now, on to my summary on the private properties. I feel that the market probably will be a bit jittery for the first 1 to 3 months, or maybe even shorter. Basically because prices of this private new launch is going to hit at new benchmark price. Okay, we're going to see the next launch in the February is Terra Hill. We're expecting a benchmark price for that, and also for the rest of the project in 2023, due to the land costs, the construction costs, they can't really sell low, right? My thought on the extra taxes is going to continue, because generally we have read, and the news in the market also know that generally the countries, especially the advanced economy countries, basically they are trying to tax the rich. And you also can see the trend in Singapore. We are doing that, especially on real estate market. But most of the Singaporeans is not much affected, generally because HDB resale prices is way below 1.5 million. So if you're looking at HDB resales, you can rest assured you will still be quite safe. The higher income earners, the rich and the ultra rich, will they still continue to come into the market? I think so. Because this increase in this stamp duty is not excessive compared to the higher land costs, the increase in construction costs. This small little increase in this stamp duty will not deter them from coming in, because they will know in future all these costs is still going to keep going up, and the property price will still moving up. So generally, I wouldn't think that it will stop them from coming in, and probably more advantage for them to come in as soon as possible to beat this increase in land prices and the construction side. So that ends my Gen Talks today. And if you have your comments, please share your comments in the comment sections below. And don't forget to subscribe to us. Click on to the bell signs to get the notification for our next video. And do like our videos if you find it's useful to you. I'm Jen, Jen Tan Property. Always love to hear from you. Bye.